Okay, so I'd like to call our May 2024 regular meeting to order and do roll call. Do we have Commissioner Andrews,
Present.
Commissioner Burgess? I don't think he is. So we'll mark him as absent. Commissioner Manzel?
Present.
Commissioner Perez is out sick. And Commissioner Trainer?
I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So at this time, we'd like to call for any public comment with a limit of 2 minutes if there's public comment. Not hearing any. So we will move on to the communication part. Is there any items for communication? Okay. The next on the agenda is the Executive Director's Report from Mary Swenson.
Yeah, just a few things. We opened to the public. We opened the doors so people could come in on May 1st, and that went really well. We didn't have a whole lot of traffic, but we figure that'll start as soon as everybody starts realizing that we're actually open. So the plan is to do that, for probably a month and then see if we want to expand that. My gut's telling me we probably do want to expand that to more than 1 day a week. But we'll see as we kind of move forward with that. The other thing, Wendy's working on the budget, and so she's working with all the different departments to get that budget process moving forward. So you'll be hearing more about that as we move forward. It's a little bit different for me because it's a fiscal budget here. I'm used to the calendar year budget, so I actually thought, oh, great, I'm going to come in. I'm not going to have to deal with budget, but surprise, surprise, I'm dealing with budget. So, which actually is a good thing for me because it will get me more in tune with the whole process and the different funds. So it's actually a really good thing. And the Park District project, there's quite a bit of activity going on with that project currently between the City of Everett staff and our staff. Jason has been working diligently on the different agreements that need to go before the Everett City Council. I have been meeting with a variety of different elected officials and stakeholders to kind of get our arms wrapped around what the issues may be and try to deal with them prior to getting to the council meeting. And Chair Smith and myself are meeting with the mayor later today and her staff to kind of talk about that project a little bit further. So things are moving along. I do not have a date that it's going back to the Everett City Council, but hopefully that's going to be happening in the not too distant future so we can get a move on that project. The staff and the team that we're working with have been doing a really good job getting me up to speed on the project. We have also brought in Michael Mira from Tacoma Housing Authority, who has recently retired and is also working through GMP consultants. So he is plugged into the project. He's given us some good insight that has been really helpful to me and to Jason both. So I think that's all I have right now. Thanks.
Perfect. Thanks, Mary. So next on the agenda is the approval of minutes for the special meeting held April 19th, 2024. And I would just need a motion. It should have been in your packet to approve these minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Well, this sounds good. Okay. Minutes are approved. Next on the agenda is the new business. And I believe what was on there was an open discussion designating a board of committee to discuss the collective benefits agreement.
Madam Chair?
Yeah.
I want to make a correction. It's community benefits agreement, not collective.
Okay, thank you. So noted. It's perfect. So on this topic, I know Mary has additional information on it. Mary, do you want to take the floor?
Sure. Sam Hell from the Sheet Metal Union had been in attendance at the last meeting and kind of introduced this topic. And I think the discussion surrounded maybe sending this to one of the committees to look at it a little bit further. Since that meeting, I have had a meeting with Sam Howell Friday. We sat down and we talked about the different agreements. There's a couple different types of agreements. There's a project labor agreement. There's a community workforce benefit agreement. We spent probably about 45 minutes him really explaining what the benefits are of these type of agreements, and me asking lots of questions and trying to get my head around what this would mean to the housing authority. I do have a few concerns about it, and I think it does make sense to move this to a committee. That will give me an opportunity to get a little bit more information on it and do a little bit more research, and then have it work through a committee. It's my understanding that we have three committees at the Housing Authority: the Personal and Real Estate the Finance and Real Estate Committee, the Personnel Policy Committee, and the Housing Policy Committee. So my thought is the Finance and Real Estate seems to be the appropriate committee, but whichever the board feels is the best committee to look at it, I think makes sense.
So, I mean, is there any comments from the commissioners? I know that
Yeah, I have a question. So could we not, I mean, does it have to go through those established committees, or can we create an ad hoc committee that can just look at that and then bring back information and recommendations, and then that committee will no longer exist? Is that,
So my understanding is that if we establish another committee, that we would have to do that by a resolution and
Yeah,
make it a
okay.
more formal committee. I'm not sure if there's another process. I'll refer that to Janaea to see if there is another process that it could go through.
Madam Chair.
Mhm.
So I kind of behind the idea of a separate temporary committee or work group, whatever you want to call it, because there's a lot to this. There's a lot to consider from the Housing Authority, the administration, and from getting feedback from whether it be contractors, whether it be workers, things like that, to evaluate the viability of such agreements. I think giving that task to another committee might water that down and make the process take longer if we're going to do it or not. It should be focused just on that work and then make a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners after that.
So I'll refer, I am familiar with ad hoc committees and other, in my other life, but I'm not sure how the process happens through here. So if there's anybody on staff that might have a little bit better understanding on whether we could do just a separate ad hoc committee for this particular topic, or whether we would have to go ahead and have a resolution to establish this particular committee.
Yeah, Mary, you're correct that in order to create a separate committee, we would have to pass a resolution that would basically add the committee and determine whether it's an ongoing standing committee, or if it's a time limited committee, state the duration of that committee.
So my recommendation would be that we do a resolution, have direct staff to do a resolution to have it as just a time limited committee. I don't think we need to have it as a standing committee that goes on. That would be my recommendation.
Any other comments on this? Okay, well, we will ask the lovely staff to help us out in this area so we can get that prepared for our next meeting. If that's doable, do you think that's too quick?
No, I think that's doable. And then I guess the question would be, how will it be determined who's going to be on the committee? And that would be totally up to the board.
Yes, I do know I have two that are on this call that are very passionate about it. So I would say Cynthia and John for sure. I haven't had the opportunity to talk to Chip at all, just to make sure that, and I know we can't have more than 4, correct? Because then it's a quorum.
Isn't it 3?
I believe it would be 3.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying, giving Chip or
Right.
Paul or George the opportunity rather
Right.
than just putting myself on there, so. Okay, so I will get details to you, Mary, and then you could probably pass that out for the folks that are working on this.
Mhm.
And it looks like our next meeting isn't till June 3rd, just so you guys know.
Okay, and in the meantime, I will gather as much information on this as I can and try to, get the information that the board would be interested in to look at.
Okay. Okay. And then I will communicate with the other board members to see who else is interested in this committee. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Chair Smith, what I would suggest actually, I mean, I think obviously you can have informal discussions, but in terms of appointing commissioners to a committee, we should probably do that in the meeting at the point that we pass the resolution. So just from a
Okay, yeah,
procedural standpoint.
definitely. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All righty. Is there any further discussion on that topic? Okay. Well, it's already led us to the last part of our agenda, which is adjournment. So just wanted to announce that the regularly scheduled meeting for Tuesday, May 28th is going to be canceled. It's close to vacation and availability is going to be tough. So the next regularly scheduled board meeting will take place Monday, June 3rd, 2024. And if there's no further business to discuss, I just need a motion to close the meeting.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All righty. Then thank you very much, everyone, for your time.
Thank
Great,
you.
thanks.
Thank
Nice seeing
you.
everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
See all of you.